Those with Alzheimer's disease may face trouble when trying to turn while walking, according to a new study. Research carried out by experts from University College London, UCL, involved the use of virtual reality in order to examine navigational errors among those experiencing the first signs of the disease. The experts carried out the study in hopes of developing simple ways to test for the progressive condition. Published in Current Biology, the small study compared 21 healthy younger people against 36 healthy elderly people and 43 patients with mild cognitive impairment. The three groups completed a task while wearing virtual reality goggles, making real movements for the experts to examine. The participants were required to walk along a route of 2 straight lines connected by a turn, guided by numbered cones. The task then involved returning to the route's starting position using memory alone. Performed repeatedly under 3 conditions, the task identified that those with early Alzheimer's consistently overestimated the turns on the route. These participants were also found to have greater variability in their sense of direction. Join the Daily Records WhatsApp community here and get the latest news sent straight to your messages. Study author, Dr. Andrea Castignaro, from the UCL Institute of Cognitive Neuroscience, told the PA news agency there was already evidence that problems with navigation is an important early sign of Alzheimer's disease. What we added here is that there are specific aspects in the navigation in Alzheimer's that are particularly disrupted, he said. In particular, we found out that individuals with early Alzheimer's consistently overestimated the turns on the given route and showed increased variability in their sense of direction. In other words, it seems that when you ask people with mild cognitive impairment, with Alzheimer's to turn a certain amount, they think they have turned much more than they actually did. More importantly, by including healthy elderly in the study, we also found that these specific aspects are not an extension of healthy aging, for which we also know navigation ability declines, and they seem rather specific to Alzheimer's disease. It is important to say, however, that these are early findings and we are working to confirm these. The participants involved in the study who had mild cognitive impairment had to be further broken down into people with underlying Alzheimer's, 14, and those with no underlying Alzheimer's, 11 people. An invasive lumbar puncture was required in order to identify early Alzheimer's. A total of 18 of those with mild cognitive impairment declining the procedure. It is therefore unknown whether these individuals had Alzheimer's. Dr. Castignaro said, "Our findings offer a new avenue for the early diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease by focusing on specific navigational errors. We aim to develop practical tests that can be easily integrated into clinical settings, considering common constraints such as limited space and time." Dr. Leah Merceline, head of research at Alzheimer's Research UK, said, "There are nearly 1 million people living with Alzheimer's in the UK, but thanks to limitations in current methods of detection, only around 60% of them will ever receive a diagnosis. So, it's vital that we develop new, more precise early detection techniques that can be easily used in healthcare systems like the NHS. This will be particularly important as we enter an era where dementia becomes a treatable condition." Thanks to advances in technology, a wide range of devices and platforms are being explored to see if they have the potential to detect early signs of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's. This small, early-stage study looks at using a virtual reality environment to analyze the way people turn while walking. The results suggest this can detect differences in participants with early Alzheimer's disease. However, as the group included fewer than 50 people, a larger study is needed to understand the future potential of this promising discovery. It will also be important to understand how digital technologies like this can be used in combination with other emerging techniques like blood tests, which are also showing huge promise for detecting Alzheimer's disease. Son Gregory, Alzheimer's Society Research Communications Manager, said, "Getting a diagnosis for dementia can be difficult for a multitude of reasons, and we know that very early symptoms can be subtle and hard to detect. However, problems with navigation are thought to be some of the earliest noticeable changes in Alzheimer's disease, so this is valuable insight." Though this technology is in its infancy and work is needed to improve its accuracy, it may offer a way to detect disease-specific brain changes in the early stages of dementia, potentially benefiting hundreds of thousands living with the condition in the future.